It's Nay, and welcome to Hey Nay. Today's episode topic is boundaries in dating. Um, I thought this topic would be very good to tackle because I know this is something that every single relationship encounters, no matter how short or how serious. Got the Hey Nay Rise to send me some questions, and here they are. When should boundaries be set? Should be set the second things are starting to get serious. So I feel like if you've gone on quite a few dates, maybe about five, if you've been seeing each other for about 2 months or so on a regular basis, then you can start setting things down. Like, hey, I don't like it when you rub my hair like that, or I don't like it, you know, when you call me boo or something like that. So things like that. So I think around that time. But it's different for everyone, but I think that's a good estimate if you're unsure of when. If ridiculous boundaries are set, would you consider leaving someone you really love? Like if they say you can't talk to other girls. I think I I try your best to be objective, of course. So though the boundary may sound ridiculous to you, it may not be ridiculous to them. So try to, if someone is telling you something that's serious, then maybe you should take that into account. If there's something like, you can't see other girls, as an example, then, you know, I would try to understand why that person feels that way. Am I making you feel insecure? Or is there something else happening? Is there a trust factor? Is there a trust issue here going on? So that's something that you need to address because that sounds like an even bigger issue than what this boundary is. But I think because if we get too ridiculous, then it definitely does go to trust. It goes to whether or not I trust you at all, or whether or not I trust you to do this certain thing or be without me. And, but otherwise, from now, certain boundaries don't necessarily have to be considered ridiculous. How we feel, we're just expressing ourselves, and you need to convey that to your partner. So just listen. I always say listen. Listen first before, you know, you clap back, essentially. How badly does someone have to step over a boundary that you haven't talked about before for you to say something? So for, for example, I feel like there isn't though. I was trying to think of an example, but when I really think about it more, there it's like I don't know. I don't know. How badly does someone have to step over a boundary that you haven't talked about before for you to say something? I think that's where the boundaries come from, I guess. You don't realize something bothers you until it actually happens, so you're just like, that bothers me. I kind of hope you don't do that, at first when it happens, you brush it off or something, but if it's a reoccurrence, then you probably will say something. So I don't think there's nothing really, I don't think there's nothing wrong with this. I think this is how boundaries become set. These are how rules are set. You know what I mean? Like it's like laws. Laws don't get created until there is an issue that needs to be decided. You know what I mean? Rules don't get made until people have essentially broken them. You know what I mean? Or people have broken them in the past. So that is like, I think you'll have more effective boundaries and more serious boundaries if a situation like this occurs. And I think the next question kind of goes along with this. What are some key unspoken boundaries? Um, and the example was, obviously cheating is one of them, but what are some others? Okay, now cheating is only a thing if you are exclusive. I know some people are like, you don't necessarily have to use the words exclusive to be exclusive. And that is very true. That is very true. Um, but If your partner has a history of not being exclusive with people, then the word exclusive needs to be said. Okay? So cheating can be an issue. You know what I mean? So you have to say, are we exclusive? Is this exclusive? Then if we are, then if they cheat, then that's them, crossing that boundary. But there aren't really, to me at least, and I'm sure people will argue with this, but when you really, really think about it, trust me, you probably will understand where I'm coming from. There's not a lot of unspoken boundaries. I don't think that's a thing. I think anything that we feel like we're going too far with, we need to address. We need to communicate with that with our partner. The only thing maybe that I would lean to in regarding to unspoken boundary is confidentiality. I know for me that is key. So what happens between me and you happens between me and you. I don't really like the the tell all gossip thing and everybody knows everything about you and your partner. And trust me, that's fine for other people. Other people want to tell about their relationships or whatever. People want to talk about, I have no problem. I mean, honestly, that's essentially what I want to do. I want to help people. I want people to tell me what's going on with them so I can help them essentially. Um, but for me personally, I prefer certain things to be um, just between the two of us. It should be discreet. The relationship is between me and you. It's not between me and you and others. And for me, that is important. So and I'm not saying that you can't say things like, hey, she always does this, or that always bothers me, or, that's okay. That's like casual conversation. You're probably talking with your friends, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think when it comes to like very intimate personal moments, very intimate personal conversations, um, those things I prefer to be discreet. Um, and that's just for only because I want to value my partner and I want my partner to value me in the sense that, what we have is what we have. It's not what everyone has. You know what I mean? This is where it goes to. This is where I've always wanted to talk about, honestly. So I'm kind of glad that this question was asked. This is where people start comparing themselves to other people. You know what I mean? Other couples. You can't really compare yourself to other couples because that's that's them. This is you. What's happening between you and your partner is not necessarily what's happening between them. So you have to see it, and that's why if everyone doesn't know everything about you and your relationship, then essentially there's nothing to compare. So I just hope that is something that is a huge takeaway from this because it's very important to me. Um, Confidentiality when it comes to relationships, everyone doesn't need to know everything. So I guess essentially that would be a huge unspoken boundary. I thought it was more of a minor thing, but when I really think about it more, it's kind of huge, at least to me. Um, so if that was to be broken, there would definitely have to be a follow up conversation, and I would have to see, where we stand. So I hope you took away some useful information. That is all I really wanted to say. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Um, so that was that. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. And remember to always start your day off with a hey. Bye.